Hello everyone, this is Tita Pibilab. Magandang umaga po, magandang hapon, magandang tanghali, magandang gabi. Baliktad ata yun, di ba? Aba, naka-lipstick si tita nyo. Hapon dito sa check time is almost 8 o'clock in the evening. Wednesday po. Ito ay ito na naman si tita nyo. Sana panoorin nyo po ang aking channel kasi lahat po ng ating kinikita sa channel na ito ay matutulong natin sa mga kababayan natin. Actually, ay pledge na tutulungan po natin si Sir Paul this month. At saka si Copar's Vlog, natulungan na po. At saka nagpadala na po tayo kay Madam Yula. At saka nagkapadala tayo ng dalawa, I think. Dalawa na tunulungan na, tatlo, I think. Tatlo na ating mga kababayan na kailangan ng tulong. Kaya po na sana ipagpatuloy nyo ng iyong pagtatangkilik ng aking channel. Lahat po ng ating income, hindi ko po ginagastos, binibigay ko po to the community, especially dyan po sa Pilipinas, yung may kailangan. Okay? So, sana po ay subaybayan nyo ako. Let's talk about ano ba yung ating topic ngayon na gusto kong anuin Dr. Smith. Natin po ang ating blood pressure. Yung sinasabing mataas ang dugo, yung hypertension, ganon. Kaya kausapin natin si Dr. Smith, magpapaliwanag po ng konti. Sandali lang po ito. Tapos meron na naman. Sabi ko sa kanya, once in a while naman, pagbigyan niya ako, di ba? O, bait naman ni tita Kaya, ayan po. Sana let's watch until the end at tignan natin po kung anong sasabihin ni Dr. Smith tungkol sa mataas na dugo, yung sinasabing blood pressure, okay? Okay po nahagilap natin si Dr. Smith. We're sitting in the backyard, we're talking, at sana po ay matulungan tayo at tayo ay magtatanong kay Dr. Smith. Smith?
Good evening.
How are you doing?
Well, that's an interesting question.
That means you are recovering okay or slowly?
Very slowly. It's a process.
It's a process po. Ayan, process daw ha. Ay kaya lang andito
I
kami
have a good hour once a day.
Yes.
And we're going to take advantage of that right now.
Nasa backyard po kami at gusto natin tatanungin kay Dr. Smith. We're gonna ask you a question. Some of the viewers are interested about high blood pressure. That means hypertension, I guess, blood pressure / hypertension. So, let me ask you something. What is blood pressure? Let me put that in Tagalog. Ano po ang presyon ng dugo? I hope I did that right. So, in Tagalog, okay? So, let's do it slow so I can translate in Tagalog.
Okay. Well, first let me refer our listeners to online information which is available to everyone from the United States Center for Disease Control, and this is Control and Prevention. It's a quick reference regarding blood pressure in case you missed part of this or you just want to look at it for your own information. I don't agree 100% with what it says, and I'll explain that as we go ahead.
Do it slow so I could.
So blood pressure is actually a mechanical pressure within the blood vessels, which is caused by the pumping action of the heart. Okay. And it's necessary to get the blood from the heart to the vital organs and every part of the body.
What do blood pressure number means? Ano ang ibig sabihin ang bilang ng presyon sa dugo? I think that's the Tagalog term. I try to do that. What do blood pressure number means? I know there's some numbers. So.
There's two numbers typically registered in blood pressure, although there's actually three that are important. So the top number, the higher number, is called systolic blood pressure.
Systolic po yung taas. Taas is the one that systolic. Pag kayo ay kinukuha yung dugo nyo.
A systolic pressure occurs when the heart pumps a large bolus or volume of blood into the system.
So, ang systolic po daw ay nagpapakita kung the bolus of blood pumps into the heart.
From the heart.
From the heart.
Into
So,
the system.
into the system. Ay, ganun. Hindi ko na alam kung paano ko i-translate yun. Sana may translator ako.
So the walls of the blood vessels expand due to the swelling from the volume.
Okay. So, the walls of what?
Blood vessels.
Of blood vessel expand. Parang lumalaki po yung blood vessel ninyo. Yung mga ugat-ugat natin. Lumalaki yun eh. Pag tumataas yung systolic. Diba? If your systolic go up.
The other commonly known number is the diastolic number.
So, diastolic number is the lower number.
lower
yung
number.
Nasa baba po. Ha? Kunwari, nasa baba yun, systolic number.
Diastolic.
Ay, diastolic number.
That number is the constant pressure because the system is never empty. And if you understand mechanics or hydraulics, you would call it the back pressure.
So, that means it's not empty. Your blood,
There's a base.
sa base is not,
Never
hindi po,
empty. Actually, a third number, which is quite important, and that's called the mean arterial pressure.
mean arterial pressure. Where is that mean arterial pressure?
The mean arterial pressure is created by the difference between the diastolic and the systolic number when the heart contracts.
Oh.
And that number is typically approximately 1/3 of the mathematical number above. And it's important because the mean arterial pressure is the one that's most important in the health of your blood vessel.
I don't know.
And your
Hindi ko na
body.
matranslate yun po. Bahala na kayo. You will keep listening and listening na. Okay. My next question, Dr. Smith, is what are normal blood pressure numbers? Ano ang normal ng presyon ng dugo? I think that's the Tagalog translation. What is the normal blood pressure number?
Well, if you looked at this reference from CDC, it would quote the textbook blood pressure normal, which goes back perhaps a century. 120/80.
120/80 is the normal one. So it's above 120
Would be considered
pre-elevated.
elevated.
Pag mataas no ng 120, ito ang tinatawag na medyo mataas na.
But below 120/80 is not low. It's still within normal range.
So, pag bumaba daw ng 120, hindi daw mababa yun. It's considered na normal daw yun.
Depending on your age, gender, body type, and actual weight.
So, depende po daw sa edad nyo, yung katawan nyo, yung edad, weight. Ano ba yung weight ng Tagalog? And what else? Weight, body type,
Age,
age,
and gender.
kung kayo ay babae o lalaki. So, does men has a higher blood pressure?
Men typically are larger than women and therefore have a somewhat higher blood pressure.
Okay.
Young women may have blood pressures as low as 90/60 or even sometimes 80/85 over 60 or 55, and that may be perfectly normal for them.
Okay. So, what if it goes below 80?
Below 80,
The systolic is 80/60, like that. Below, like for example, 72/60.
well, that would definitely be a low blood pressure.
So,
But for a man in his 50s who is somewhat overweight, a blood pressure below 100/60 is probably too low.
too low. Pag ang lalaki daw is, ang weight niya is 160, right? The weight is 160. Yung blood pressure niyo po is 100/80. or less
60.
than, or 60, 100 over 60, mababa na daw po. Yung pag ang weight nyo po, ang ano is 160. Huh? Right?
100 over 60
Mm-hmm.
would probably be a number below which we would need caution or more information.
Okay. That's good to know.
The lower your blood pressure within that range from 120 over 80 to 100 over 60, the healthier your arteries will be and the less risk for the complications of hypertension.
So kung slower daw, mas maganda ang resulta ng hypertension. I think something like that. Oh, that's a good information, Dr. Smith. So, my last question is, what is the sign and symptoms of having a high blood pressure?
Unfortunately, high blood pressure is typically silent. Most patients have no clue that they are suffering with elevated blood pressure.
Especially if they don't check, right?
You must check your blood pressure regularly.
Ayan po,
To know.
you have to check daw. Titignan po natin ang blood pressure natin at least once a week. If we have to.
Especially if you have family history of complications from blood pressure, or personal attributes such as a stressful life, using a lot of stimulants, not sleeping enough, overweight. Okay, these kind of problems can contribute to hypertension. Long-term untreated hypertension is dangerous.
Very dangerous daw po pag hindi natin na-treat. So, genetics, family history, as you said, contributes to high blood pressure.
Plus personal habits.
So, lifestyle? Lifestyle po, yung kinakain natin if you don't exercise, right?
Right. Lack of exercise.
A lot of exercise, our diet, our food.
Too much sodium.
Too much salt
fat,
do, yung mga bagoong dyan, yung mga
stimulants.
patis. Ha? Stimulants, alcohol.
Chewing tobacco, alcohol. Yes.
Ayan, yung mga
Too much
caffeine, yung mga masyadong umiinom ng kape. The one that smokes and drinks so much alcohol, right?
May have a problem.
How about drinking a lot of coffee?
Too much.
Too much. So like how many cups a day you should be drinking?
Generally, the American Heart Association would recommend no more than 2 cups of coffee per day.
Okay, 2 cups of coffee daw. Minimal alcohol. Try to quit smoking if you have the high blood pressure, right?
Quit smoking no matter what.
Quit smoking no matter
No
what.
doctor will recommend that you smoke.
Well, Dr. Smith, we're gonna go in the next episode. We're gonna go about causes, right?
We can speak about
Treatment?
causes in the future. Causes, why should we treat, and what treatment is available and why.
So, how about medication? We can
That
talk
will
about
be
that too.
included in treatment.
Okay. So, ayan po sa next episode daw niya, kasi ito naman aking asawa nagmamadali. We will talk about bakit ka nagkaka-high blood pressure, kung ano ang dapat nating gagawin, the treatment, and the treatment includes medication.
And why you should treat.
And why you should treat, bakit natin gagamutin ang high blood pressure. So yan po ang ating next topic, ha? Hopefully we can do that before, over the weekend, or by Friday, the second episode.
Sometime soon.
Pag mahagilap ko kasi busy da, kahit pa may sakit, telepono, non-stop telephone, right, Dr. Smith? But anyway, we would like to thank you, my viewers, and especially because it takes me a while to take this video, would like to thank you. We look forward to listening to your advice to the next episode. Again po, we're looking forward for the treatment, the causes, the treatment, and why we need to treat high blood pressure.
I am always happy to speak to our listeners, especially if they intend to use this information to make one small change to improve their lives.
Wow, ayan po si Dr. Smith. Ang bait naman po, ano? Our heart, Dr. Smith and I would like to thank you, right, babes?
Thank you so much.
And We love you, all the viewers. Please share and subscribe and hit the notification, right? And
Whatever that
make
is.
my husband doesn't know po. So make us 100 subscriber po in the next few weeks, I hope. And then we will be happy. Take care, everybody. We love you and God bless, right?
God bless.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.